We're here at the Samsung Galaxy Experience Space, located in New York on 50th West and 34th Street.
Absolutely. Here in New York City. So the last time you were in New York, what you said was 2 months ago?
It was. Everything's just a blur. I'm always traveling. I'm traveling every couple weeks.
It's this whole location. Super cool, huh?
Oh, I love it. This space is here until February 16th for the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
February 16th. Valentine's Day is on the 14th. Do you have any plans?
I plan to get my girlfriend Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
I plan on taking my wife here for Valentine's Day.
Oh, you actually?
Yeah, she actually told... No, well, she's from New York, so maybe I'll just be like, hey, happy Valentine's Day. We're going to go to the Samsung Experience here. Maybe check out a little bit of New York. I know it's stereotypical. You set your goals to just not mainly achieve them most of the time for the new year. But this time, I was like, I'm going to be different this time. So what I did is I wrote a letter to myself at the end of 2023, and it was my goals for 2024. And then I'm going to read said goals on New Year's, and I'm going to keep writing said letter. And then it's, then you don't over-predict, because then you're reading that letter in December, and it's like, I'm going to conquer the world, whatever it is, right? And I'm like, all right, come on, let's make more realistic goals. And so I've got a good goal list. Do you have any goals on the top of your...
I like to set a low bar for myself so that I don't disappoint, but I also like to overachieve.
Yeah.
If I were to set a goal, it'd be, hey, just make it to 2025 with 10 fingers.
That's
set
talk
the
about
bar low.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Yeah,
I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's all right.
You're going to be looking there with your phone. You're going to have nine fingers. Be like, dang it. Come on, OJ. You almost had that one. So 10 fingers. Anything else? What about content-wise? I think the struggles in what we do sometimes is there's never-ending goals. I think actually everyone can relate with this. There's in your job, in your relationships, you can keep setting goals that are kind of out there, but in content creation, where do you stop?
That's a really interesting thing you bring up, because with content creation, what we do is a dream job, but like Tom Scott said recently in his I'm Quitting YouTube video, which he's not really quitting, he's just taking vacation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He was saying, even though it's a dream job, it's still a job. And then MKBHD literally released a video a few days ago from...
Just saw this.
Yeah. And it was about burnout. I really like how he resonated with everything that we do, and he articulated how I feel. I'm not good at that.
So they say entrepreneurs work 80 hours a week, so they don't have to work the 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and it's so true, right? I love that.
It doesn't feel like 80 for me, though.
It doesn't, and I think the thing, you just kind of mentioned it, you can feel not known. Like one of my favorite things about not only just like joining Tribe and meeting you and other people, it's like, you feel more known when you have other people in your space. Now, this kind of goes for anything. If you meet somebody in your space in any job capacity, it's like, wow, you know the ins and outs. I was in hotels, as I said. My wife was in hotels. So when we came home, I knew the stress of her day, right? And I knew, oh, you did this, you did this. My brother's a police officer. I can know my brother's a police, but I don't know what he's doing every day. I don't know what he's going through. And I think the same for us.
All of my real life friends. Oh, how was your day? How was... shouting in a camera for 10 minutes. And with all due respect, that's all they perceive. They just don't know the business back end behind it, or the production, the R&D for the scripts and the videos, and just thousands of things you could go off on. Yeah, no, it's really nice to have someone in your circle that you talk to. Like, you're talking to Dexter and Molt. I have Kairos and Lex I talk to literally every day, and it's just being able to relate to someone that knows what your struggles are.
Yeah, best friends of mine my whole life. They the only thing they can conjure up to ask me, they'll be like, how's Captain America? Like they don't know what to say, so they like come up with some Marvel thing to say to me, and it's fantastic. It's hilarious, right? I mean, it is, because it does when they go and look at what I do, or if I'm trying to explain to my in-laws or whoever, it's really hard to grasp all the other things that. I mean, you would know this. The actual video itself, or making videos, is such a small part of what we do.
There's so much that goes behind the scenes, and I used to do a lot of strategy videos, so that required a lot of R&D and hours of recording and hours of editing. And some videos would take days just for a 6-minute video.
But we're similar in the fact that there are two ways to do YouTube. You could keep doing the same thing you're doing, and then you kind of have a good rhythm, right? Because then you're like, okay, I do this. Or you're like, I want to amp it up a little bit each time. How can I add? How can I change? How can I add? What can I do differently? And I know you, OJ, and the things I know about you is you do love to continue to expand your skill set, your video, whether it's editing, whether it's the way you do things. That is what can take extra time, because it's a whole nother field that you have to kind of master.
My mind has so many questions
all
for you.
Over. I know. When we get together, there's so much to ask. There's so much to talk about. So it can be tough to get through it. Yeah. What's a video you've done this year? Super proud of, OJ? Or maybe your favorite video. Yeah, favorite video this year.
There's so many videos I'm working on. At any given time, I have 10 different videos I'm recording, whether it's a 100-day series or right now I'm vlogging on my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And what's nice about this is that I can just kind of keep track of everything. So I'm vlogging where I'm going to go from 185 pounds to 160. No promises, but
those goals, 10 fingers, and you try to go to 160.
Yeah. So I'm in the bulking phase right now, but I want to cut down a little bit. So I've been vlogging on the phone, and we'll see how that turns out. There's going to be a lot of footage, but the nice thing about that is that I don't have to worry about the post-production of things, or like if you're shooting on a traditional camera, you have the raw files that you have to deal with, which is such a hassle when you have 200 files.
I've been loving like the inter-network that I have between. So I have been absolutely loving the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra for a lot of my content filming, and then I play a lot of Snap on my Z Fold 5. So between the two, use both of them. I have Google Drive or whatever I need to, or the Samsung Upload that I can use to get my content faster, easier. The interconnection there is awesome, and I'm excited.
Is there anything in 2024 that you want to improve on? I mean, there's always something to improve on. There's always so many.
Tons, yeah. Since we talked a bit personal life with the goals earlier, with content, yeah. I mean, my core premise is to always have passion behind what I'm doing. So I'm not going to make content over something just to, get to the next video or get, whatever it might be. I want to love what I'm doing. And so continuing to chase that passion. And right now that's, people ask, I'm sure you get this all the time. There's no way you still love playing blank. Clash, Brawl, whatever. For me, it's Snap. I'm like, I love it. I still love it all these years later. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
And you're way more years into that than I am Snap.
I start getting creative with things, and I stopped playing ladder and Clash Royale and started playing 2v2 and just playing these really troll decks, and I still have a lot of fun with it.
I've seen you done a lot of content lately with doing, I call it multiplayer because it's easiest to say that, but playing with others, right? Do you prefer, do you think that's always the future, to play with others? Do people prefer solo experiences? A great example of this is Snap is coming out with clans or guilds, and some people aren't excited. Like, I don't want to talk to people like this. I played this game by myself. Why do I want to talk to? And other people are like, yes, I get to be in a clan with OG.
Excited for it?
Yeah, I'm right. But as an extrovert, I think it's easy for me to be like, what the heck?
Oh, I'm an introvert. It's like, this is great. I can just text them instead.
And not have to do face-to-face, yeah.
Yeah. Plans are going to be exciting for that. I think collaborative content is really fun.
Social, yeah. Big time social. They teasing 2v2 would be, if they do 2v2 and they bring that, playing with friends is better. It's always been, right? That's what Pokemon did good.
Molt was doing collaborative content in 2016, and he was getting millions of views. It's just such a different dynamic when you're interacting with someone else that it's so engaging to...
That's a great point. I've done videos. Let's take an easy one, like a tier list video. People love their tier list, right? And I've done it by myself, and I thought, like, hey, that's a good video. People are like, hey, I wish you had someone else there to bounce back you, because then it's kind of one spokesman, right? And so it also has that element to it. Have you kind of seen that before too?
Yeah, you get someone that kind of doesn't fully agree with the tier list. I think it's a little more balanced that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think content with other people, you just get more characters. And listen, you watch your favorite shows because of the characters in the show. The more characters that you can resonate with and or love, going full circle with what we've talked about, you're going to like that show more. So The Office does good because there's so many relatable characters. So when your videos have more people, you have a much higher chance of people feeling known and loving characters, which are these YouTubers.
Oh, yeah. Like the sidemen, and there's always one person that someone says they can relate to better. Like, oh, I like this guy because he's quiet. I'm quiet.
Yep, absolutely. So, I know in YouTube, it can seem like it's always a competition. And I think the biggest thing that I try to focus on early on, and I can tell you did too, is forget competition. Let's collaborate. Let's both, a tide rises all ships, as they say.
It helps the algorithm too, as it clusters. If you grow, then I grow together. And I didn't realize that in the beginning, and I thought it was competition.
Because most jobs are, kinda. This one more than ever. That's why YouTube's so unique, right? If you're a gym teacher, I don't know, that's a random job, but if you're a gym teacher, YouTube would be like, at the end of the day, you have 50 other gym teachers from all the schools come together, and it's like, all right, we're going to rank you guys in front of everybody. Can you imagine? Like, that's what our job is. It's insanity.
Out of the best in the district, how did you perform today?
Yeah, and it's public knowledge. That's the other thing, right? And then you have to, as a person, look at your self-worth and not let that ranking for that day.
Gym teacher, what were your KPIs for today?
Yeah, I want to know how many calories those kids burned out there on the kickball field. Yeah, exactly. But so that's that definitely makes it tough.
Wow, when you put it into that perspective, it can seem that way in the beginning.
Yeah,
but it really helped with me realizing that everyone collaborating together just grows in a cluster.
Yeah,
and by elevating that niche, then everyone kind of benefits from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Obviously, I know you listed them earlier, but is there 1-2 people that you know that if you make a video with that person, you're gonna click, you're gonna bounce each other off well?
Oh yeah, there's a handful of people that I synergize really well with, especially because I don't really talk much. As weird as that is, as a YouTuber, you know.
Yeah, I would actually say that. Yeah, that makes sense. So you want someone who doesn't shut up like myself?
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Really?
It helps with my social anxiety.
So I love this because Alex, coach, I do a Snap podcast with him.
Yeah.
But he talks a lot too. So now you have 2 people that don't shut up, and it's also a fun, unique atmosphere.
That's even better because you have more footage to edit out, and because if you talk over each other, you can kind of push the footage a little bit over.
You have to the challenge with it though. So if you have 2 introverts, it's like, who's gonna talk first? When you have somebody that's extroverted, introverted, maybe the extroverted does the bit more talking. When you have 2 extroverts, you have to pick up on when that person's going to stop talking, and it can be tough.
Oh.
Yeah, we run into that a lot. So tell me, man, it's the AI phone. Are you going to be using this AI for any pieces of your content?
There's going to be something, and I'm going to figure it out.
Okay.
I think what I want to do is for note taking. That's going to be a huge one. Just if I'm doing a podcast, to transcribe everything so that I don't have to look at all the things.
It's a game changer. I mean, really, when AI came out, I always try to tell myself, what's the next internet without knowing it's the internet, right? Like, the internet blew up, and people that got into .com early, was able to succeed. And so for me, AI, about a year ago, I was like, it was the first, like, scary thing to come out, almost. Like, it was so crazy. And I don't know if anyone can relate with this. Like, I feel like everybody could. When you first saw AI, did it not blow your mind? The thing, like even something so simple as making a wave bigger in a surf photo. We were just talking about. It's mind blowing.
It's crazy how there's no limit yet. We don't know the limit of AI until we'll reach it.
And I'm pumped for it, right? Because I know in 1994 when .com and internet was going on, they were like, hey, this is scary. Like, what could this do? What can we do with this? And I think AI is that first feeling that we've had in our generation with the same result. And so
I'm in the pre-internet generation.
Yeah. I mean,
back in my day, we were offline. I had to bicycle to my friend's house to knock on the door, see if they're home.
Oh, same here. But it was, I guess, where I am in life now compared to when the internet came out. Yeah, I know. And then guess what? I guarantee you, 20, 30 years from now, pre-AI, those were the days. I think it's going to shape the way, and this is what a step forward with Samsung here being the AI phone, right?
There's a tech CEO that mentioned that AI is being utilized more by the younger developers.
Yep.
And it's just such a leap for everything else to give them the experience and the tools they need.
So ways that I use it in my creation every day, ways I'm going to try to really use it a ton, and I've done a little bit of it with my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, is my thumbnails. So in my thumbnails, I will create the thumbnail, but then the refinements and little things that I would like to add. So much so as you can add a treasure chest. This happens all the time. In my thumbnails, I got words on the right side, big image on the left, right? Sometimes the spacing doesn't work.
Yes,
right?
I do it too.
You know what I mean? And I can just manufacture, and literally just did this on my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. You make more space. You can do this with real photos, but of course with the thumbnail as well.
I like how when it creates a space, if you really know what it is, you can look close at, something's kind of off, but from a thumbnail, it's kind of blurred.
Yeah.
It looks totally natural.
Exactly. Yeah. And funny enough, I've actually done that with my live studio. So my camera one time was bumped over, and it was kind of to the left of my shot. And I was able to expand my studio. And now to me, I'm like, that's not what my studio looks like, but no one else knows. And that's where I think it's crazy. Just and this is just one example of AI, but I think that's what's crazy about this next generation. And then putting this on a phone, it's on the go, which is even crazier.
I would have broken the fourth wall and had a post-edit note in there, just injecting the video. Oh, that's weird. My camera's off. Let's add it on. Oh, sorry. Back to the video.
Yeah, right. That's from the editor, you're like editor OJ here. But and then transcribing is really neat. The note functionality with the Samsung, you can essentially, if this podcast, we can have this transcribed for us. So if I want to go back to our AI conversation, we're able to easily locate that. And again, having that access, I've been able to do some of that on my PC, but having the chance to be able to do that on the go is what's exciting. And with a familiar phone, I'm glad that, listen, AI phone sounds really cool, but I'm glad that we can have a device that I already know really well, being the Galaxy line, right? S23 used all the time. So it's going to be exciting where this can go.
I like it. They ramped up the processor, so it's going to be able to handle all of these new features.
Let me ask you this. You've been to a lot of places this year we were talking about earlier. We're here in New York now at the Samsung Experience event. Where is the best event or place you've been to in the last 365 days? Outside of this one.
The World Finals for Clash Royale was really great. I'm a little sad that Brawl Stars World Finals happened at the same time in Sweden, because Clash Royale and Clash of Clans happen in Finland, but it's always such a blast. It's really high production. The pros all get together, and Supercell flies out all the creators.
That's
so there's 100 of us.
How lucky is it that's not in and nothing against Nebraska. I love Nebraska. But you know what I mean? It could just be in cornfield, Nebraska.
Have you ever done a hot cold dunk? We did a sauna experience and then dipped into the ocean in -5 weather, and it's salt water, so it's a little bit colder too.
How was it? Was it
life-changing. I love it. I need a cold bath in my house now. I'm with the trend. I haven't
done that when I was a kid. You used to do the hot tub, the pool thing. You go to the pool, go to the hot tub, and you're like, "Whoa, this is crazy." It was that, but times a million, I guess.
Yeah. And your body goes into shock the first dunk, but after the first cycle, you want more.
Oh my god!
Then after the fifth cycle, like, all right, I'm beat. I need to call it.
That's awesome. As you have, don't know if kids are in your future, but if they are, your travel goes down a little bit. So a lot of my travels through being able to do content creation. I have the privilege of living in San Diego, so a lot of the stuff I want to go to is right next to me.
Everything is there. All the conventions are there.
It's right there. Or LA, which is an hour away.
Yeah.
My second dinner, who does Marvel Snap, they're in Irvine. That's an hour away. So I don't have to go anywhere to be able to see them and go to their offices and things like that, which is really unique and cool. But yeah, I just went to Comic-Con. That was definitely. I go to Comic-Con every year. It's lights out.
Huh. I've always wanted to go there.
Oh, you have to. Oh, come this year.
Really into JJK right now.
It's so funny because I was already going to Comic-Con. I got into a Marvel superhero game, which is Marvel is Comic-Con pretty much. Not only just the comics, but really what blew up, really the film releases. I mean, I'm sure even you have seen where they had the panels and you've got, the cast of the movies come out and it's, you get to watch them kind of like here. So there was a Marvel Snap panel for the art of Snap.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Marvel Snap, one of the greatest things, whether you're into the game or not, is the art is just so impeccable, really well done. So they flew out a bunch of artists because they commissioned these artists for the game. So a bunch of people draw Captain America. There's so many different ways to draw him. So they did this whole panel. And OJ, I tell you what, I've never been in an environment in my life because I forgot kind of who I was, right? Like I'm content creator for Snap. So I'm in this room just enamored by being able to watch this panel on the game I love. But then there were people in the audience like, that's Coz. And I forgot about that aspect. It was a little crazy, but I was not prepared.
You're probably especially recognized in that space.
It is the most echo chamber I could ever be in. Yeah, it was. I felt like a Backstreet Boy, and I don't know if I was prepared for it at all.
And that doesn't usually happen if you're grocery shopping because it's not like everyone is a Marvel Snap fan. But in that environment, it's everything. It's 100%.
I think it was Ludwig who was talking about when you have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you get recognized about like once every couple weeks to a month when you're out in public, just public, right? Maybe once every couple weeks, okay? When you have 1 million, you get that transcends and maybe pretty much every other trip or every trip to maybe, the grocery store, someone or somewhere or any city is going to recognize you. And then 5 million, it's like you really start, it gets out of control. So you're in the threshold of just obviously incredible numbers over there. But was it weird for you to get used to that? Because it was a bit. It took time. I'm just a dude guy. Like I tell people, I'm just a guy. Like cozy, cool. So it was weird when people are like, "Oh, it's cozy." I'm like, "Dude, yeah, hey, I put my pants on one leg at a time." I mean, yeah, it's
No, I never had that weird feeling for that, and in fact, I feel like there's always times where someone's like, they'll look at the phone, and they'll look at me, and then they'll just kind of like keep to themselves. Especially because I have a bit of a younger audience, so maybe they're just a little shy to approach me.
Oh, so you have an older audience, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I'll usually wave to them like, "Hey, what's up?" And then that's when they open up.
OJ might as well be Mickey freaking Mouse. I mean, it was like people,
I wouldn't say
these kids were like, "It's OJ," and I have Steve.
Wait, where was this?
There's two places. One was in San Diego. We were by the elevators, and then the other was at BlizzCon. Because it's funny, like when we were all at BlizzCon, there's like 7 creators there, and someone would go, "Oh my gosh," and all 7 of us would look over, and we're like, Who do they know? Remember? And it was that guy that came up and they're like, "Oh, OJ Cozy," and whatever it was at the hotel at BlizzCon.
Oh, yeah. Molt gets recognized too because he's an OG.
Yeah.
You got to recognize a lot. Hey, I used to watch you when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's this fully grown adult man.
Yeah, I had the 34, 36-year-old Steves, and you have these little young, great kids, and it's funny to see.
Yeah. I've been in the game for 8 years now, so some of my audience members are grown up now too. So it's like, I used to watch you when I was a kid.
That's cool.
Wow, that was a long time ago. I can't believe I've been doing this for almost a decade.
Oh, man, as you know, 1 year goes to the next. I mean, it's just it folds over so quickly. I barely know what day it is, month it is, because it's just all-consuming, yeah. Like, I went to Jersey Mike's once, and this guy's like, "Cozy, you have Jersey Mike's too?" I'm like, "Yep, dude, this is it. Yeah, this is it."
I try to have it every once in a while.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I'm not having my sushi cut up for me at home or something like that, but... anyway, but definitely fun with the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. When we've talked about how you can use AI in your content a little bit, how do you want to continue to push the mold of IRL content, and where can that Samsung phone come to use there? Mainly for obviously the recording, yeah.
The main thing is the camera for me, and I really like the zoom on this one. I think it's going to be really useful for a lot of content creation. For the AI, that's a broad question because it's limitless right now, and the phone just came out and I need to experiment to see what I can kind of innovate in the space, but It's really exciting.
I was not prepared to be an S Pen fan, and I'm an S Pen fan. Like I don't know, right? Because you think about it, like a stylus, right? And you're like, cool, what year is it, right? Like, why are we using stylus? This thing is awesome. I use my stylus for this and then my S9 tablet, like all the time.
What do you use the pen for?
So there's a couple things. First of all, like like I said, in my thumbnail or like anything like that.
To circle.
Complete circling, things like that. But also just navigating. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm doing refinement on like web searching, if I go through that note transcript here from the AI perspective, just highlighting text. I don't know. Trying to highlight text without it just feels worse. It's a worse experience.
You're trying to select with your thumbs, and you're no, I meant to not copy. Yeah.
It's not hard to do, but the S Pen just makes it easier, in my opinion. Yeah, for sure.
It's a very basic answer for me, but I just love the selfie button on there where you just click on the pen and you get the selfie snap.
Yeah.
Super basic, and it blows people away. It's like, oh, this feature's been around for a while.
Yeah, I know, right? But
exactly. Still, it's simple, but it works.
Exactly. Let's talk about the games you're covering in 2024 and kind of some predictions, some things that you want to happen in the space.
There's a lot of different things to cover in the mobile space. I'm probably going to be mobile for the next little while because it's so convenient. It's the mobile games and the daily quests are synced to my bowel movement, so I don't really see myself straying away from mobile gaming.
Okay. I'm sorry, your bowel movement.
You get the chest happens. You got to collect 4 chests. And to collect 4 chests, it's a 3-minute game. You got to play 4 games, and that's about,
Okay. No, sorry. I thought I heard what you said. I was like, surely this is a metaphor.
No.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, I did a poll the other day. I'm like, where do you play Marvel Snap the most? Hey, just saying, your husband is in the bathroom for an extra long time for a reason. They're playing Snap. They're finishing up a game, probably, or Clash.
You ever get up and it's like, oh, my knees are red.
The legs are numb. Yeah, no, I've been there. The battery life, you can't outlast it. Your legs would be done after that. But
I love the battery life. It's not just the hardware that's improving, but also the software that optimizes that. So it uses less battery.
Every year, it's like we've improved the battery. And I'm like, how much can you really improve the battery? There's a huge difference every single, and maybe it's like, I don't know, the apps I use continue to drain more battery. I don't even have to charge my devices overnight anymore. It blows my mind.
That's what's weird about it for me is that I don't plug it in and then I'll just wake up with 60% and be like, you know what? I'm going to go on the next day. And then if I need to fast charge it, then
right. Because you were trained habit, to plug in your phone overnight and whatever.
Back in our day, if we didn't plug in, you wouldn't have anything by then.
You were done. Yeah, exactly. Right. But you know what the other thing for people that don't use a lot of Samsungs that I love that you can charge phones with phones and with tablets. Like I use my S9 to charge my devices. It sounds little and stupid, but I'm telling you, you don't know you need it till you need it. And then obviously using USB-C and stuff, it makes it so easy.
That is handy. If you don't have a battery pack with you, and your tablet's going to have more capacity for that.
Your tablet can charge your phone like fast too. It's kind of crazy. Definitely, and
I'm going to start doing that.
Hey, it's not a bad idea, especially when you're doing like camera recording and things like that. That really. You have in continuous use.
Even for just gaming, it will last the whole day without plugging in. Back then, if you're gonna do a gaming session, you had to plug it in. But now you don't really have to worry about that because of all the optimizations and everything. Circling back to your question, games in 2024. I'm covering Clash Royale, Brawl Stars, and Clash of Clans right now, and I kind of want to do Clash Mini if it goes global. I'm posting like once every couple months, and it's doing pretty good. But it's been in beta for 3 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now this is the deciding year. Whether it's going to come out or not.
There are games that they'll get lost in beta limbo. I mean, they stay in beta forever. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it comes out because the gameplay's there. I know you talked about it. You love the game.
Especially Molt. Was it Molt? I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah. So Second Dinner, who does Marvel Snap, they just got funding for $100 million, and I'm like, that's a lot of money from that people.
Is that public info?
Yeah, it is. So it just came out. Same people that funded Discord, which I was like, okay, so they're probably reliable. Yeah. I think Robin Hood Group, something like that. I'm
one of the venture.
Yeah, one of those companies. Anyway, long story short, I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to be used just for Snap, and if it is, how big of events are we doing? Okay, let's talk about it. But no, it's actually they're doing more games. They're doing more games, and Ben Brode, who's the creator of Snap, he's like the fatherhood of games. I mean, he's a board gamer.
Yeah, Hearthstone to this.
He's such a great developer or human. I'm excited because they've announced that they're hiring for more games to come. They also are interested in potential different IPs. I'm just saying, I'm a Star Wars kind of guy. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Right? I love Marvel. I love it if you're watching me, Ben Broad. But Star Wars, I'm a big fan. So if they go into that route, there's Lord of the Rings. The gameplay of Snap is what people love about it. It's quick, it's witty, it's easy. You could bring any IP to it.
Do you watch any anime?
I'm like basic. Like the other day, someone said it was like stop and post an anime, GIF or GIF. I did Dragon Ball Z, and someone's like, yeah, okay, Cozy, yeah, you don't get out much. But I did One Piece as well. One Piece and Dragon Ball is my main.
Are you following One Piece still?
I'm trying. I mean, the lack of time. Not only being a content creator, but I have a son. That's all consuming. And I can't really say that One Piece and Nami is exactly what my son wants to watch. So it's definitely, when I'm watching Miss Rachel, I'm also watching, shout out to you guys who know who Miss Rachel is. But yes, I watch it when I can.
Would you be excited about a One Piece IP kind of game? Because there hasn't really been something done.
It's funny you say that. So they just did a physical card game. And it's huge. It's massive. People are crazy about it. It's actually probably second to Snap right now.
But it's physical.
Physical. The digital card game space is very hard to get into because the cool thing about physical is you can have it forever. You can have this thing. I have a lot of cool Marvel Snap stuff, but it's digital, right? So you really have to hook the player and bring that experience to digital. I would love if One Piece went digital.
Oh, that'd be very interesting.
You do so much different type of content, and there's so many different devices, things you use to make said content. Right now, we're filming podcasts, and we have literal Samsungs on selfie sticks recording different angles, which is...
I used to pack actual cameras until I realized, wait a minute, that's way too much. The camera tech in these phones are just so far ahead now that you don't really have to hassle with packing all of that. I would have to carry a whole Pelican case just to have what we have here.
Okay, it's funny you say that because I wanted to do a multi-camera setup in my studio, and I have, a DSLR camera that's on the front, and I was like, do I buy another camera? And then I was like, the phone cameras now are so... There's a YouTuber, I've quoted him a couple times to you today, but Mr. Who's the Boss, and he just uses his phone. And I'm like, if he just uses a phone, and this guy, he's obviously a pretty big YouTuber, It's got to work for me too.
There's real-time processing in there, so it's really great as it comes out. You can record in RAW if you really want to get nerdy with that. What video were you most proud of in 2023?
In 2023.
Heck, that was just a few weeks ago.
I know, feels like an eternity ago. That's a good question. I think it was my, I had to think about it for a second, my 52nd episode of the Snapchat, my podcast. And the reason I say that is for a full year straight, and you know this, that how much we travel, how much life there is, didn't miss a week, didn't miss a Monday, no matter what, every single Monday. So when I got to 52, it was just like, wow.
Oh, 52 for a year.
For a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why I had to think for a second. I was like, how many weeks are we? That to me was such a cool trophy to achieve, a self-trophy, if you will, and making it a full year. And I can tell you there were nights where it was hard to get that out. I'm traveling. I got sick. There's so many things that come in the way, you know? So that
Are you still editing all the content yourself?
I am. I know.
But if you enjoy it, that's good too.
I do. I find loving it. I think there are big creators that I know that still edit their own content.
Yep. I still edit some here and there.
It scratches an itch for me, and it's honestly how I have fun. I can't do my old-timey training video if I don't edit it, because I guess I could, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. You have to be an octopus.
Yes.
You gotta have multiple hearts. You gotta cut off an arm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an arbitrary reference.
I like that metaphor. I'm stealing that for the future.
The MKBHD's video.
Yeah. Stealing. Oh, I'm gonna say it's from OJ. Okay.
So in the video, he was basically saying how octopuses have how they have multiple hearts, and you have to pick and choose. And because of how many skill sets we have and all the little things that we have to do behind the scenes, you have to kind of pick what you love and hold on to those, so you don't have to delegate away from those. But there are going to be other people that are going to be able to do certain things better than you, whether that's like a thumbnail or script writing or something specific that you don't particularly enjoy that they do and they're really good at. You kind of can cut off your arm and hand it off to them for that.
It's a good way to put it. It's probably the hardest part about our job too, I think.
Yeah, and it helps with burnout, with just keeping what you're passionate about. I really like that video. It really resonated.
And it's funny because it's on both lending and looking for helping hands, but also self-perspective of like, okay, where is my time going? Who is it going to? What is it going to? Famous quote, heard it on Shark Tank, believe it or not, was when you can, the soonest thing you should do as an entrepreneur is hire somebody at something you suck at. And it's the first thing you should, wherever your biggest weakness, you should hire somebody for that job.
That's usually an accountant for.
Oh my gosh, for me, yeah, I was gonna say.
For me, right off the bat.
Yeah, numbers aren't exactly my strong suit, but I mean, it's a good way. So if you don't like social media, have a social media manager. If you don't like editing, get an editor. If you don't like thumbnails, get someone to make your thumbnails for you. This is just YouTube, obviously, but I thought it was a really good quote.
Yeah, there's so much going on. I'm actually thinking of getting a manager to manage.
The manager of the managers.
Yeah.
Biggest role in company,
it's very
buddy.
Confusing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was watching, I'm going to mess up his name, but it's Ali, the productivity guy. You know him.
The doctor?
Yeah. Ex-doctor.
Ali Abdul.
Ali Abdul. So he has a CEO, right? And he was talking about his job. And he's like, oh, he manages everyone. He does everything. And I create. And I was like, that's so weird to me to try to understand that. Because it's not like I don't want to give up the power. It's like I feel like I wouldn't even know what's going on. But then I guess if you get the best, you can't even call him a number two because he's technically like the manager of managers. If you get a great one of those, then you're in the loop, you know what's going on, and you can focus on being OJ.
It's always scary handing that off and then not knowing what's coming next, I guess.
I think it's the same for editing in a sense too. Like you're letting go of something and you're like, but they won't do it right. It's what you would like to think. And so I think coming from corporate world, doing Marriott, it's, I had to hire a lot of people, and you just know when you're like, this person's going to make my life a lot easier because they're going to be able to they understand me, they understand the brand or whatever, your brand is.
Right.
And then they just execute on that. And that's, that's where it kind of starts.
And would you do that for an editor? It seems like you've been kind of...
I know that's the tough part, but I enjoy editing. I think that's I enjoy editing. So for manager, I think in the future, maybe so. I don't need to get a manager yet. I'm still a wee solo gig over here, but yeah, definitely a good time. I'm excited to check out this experience though. Like right after this, like just checking out everything that Samsung has to offer here. Have you gone? It's hard to portray. We're in a room right now, beautiful, looking at a great crowd here. Love the green hoodie. Hi, Greg. Have you checked out the other space here?
I haven't, and I'm excited to check out everything with features. There's just so much to learn about this phone. I'm not gonna pretend I know everything about it, but
So the last things to touch on the Galaxy S24 here. First of all, the little things that I like, and I'm a very visual person, so the screen is a bit less rounded, I believe. I think it's a bit more square on. First, I don't know why it just resonates with me better, and it's easier for me to use in that perspective. They're always doing this, okay, with the where the camera's at, okay. It always gets smaller and smaller, and I believe it's a little smaller now too. It's like they keep perfecting that too, so it's like the little everyday experience that I'm loving. It doesn't come close. This is an AI phone that just happens to be the Galaxy S24, and for me, bar none, I'm gonna train myself just like I did on the PC to start really utilizing the AI on this thing because I think it's incredible. And I'm not just saying that. I truly mean there's so much to AI to learn and to use, and this is capable. It's absolutely capable, and that's what I'm excited for.
oh, you need to share some tips when you figure out
Will do.
how you're gonna integrate this content. There's just so much to streamline.
I'm gonna be addicted to
Yes.
it. Outside of just the photos, there's I think photos are so cool, and making myself look like I can dunk is really cool. But it's actually pretty cool. That's probably what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna be honest. But after that, just learning how to use it in my everyday life, there's no question that the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is gonna be able to give me the tools for that.
Which creator in your community put out the best content in 2023? Do you think?
Ooh.
Aside from you, of course, because you're number one.
I appreciate it. That's a good question. So for me, I always like to look at in any creation or any topic, you'll have usually who's at the top, and then you have a bunch of people that mimic that, and then you have a couple people that decide, I don't really care if I blow up or I have views, I'm gonna do something completely different, and that's what I love. And I actually would love to see more IRL content and things like that. I love when you have strangers and people introduced because it just adds variability that you cannot account for, right?
You're not talking about the one where Dexter stomped me, are you?
That's where I was going. So Dexter did he went to TwitchCon, did an event, and he played Marvel Snap in real life against creators. And I watched that video, and there was a certain creator there, and that might have been my favorite part because you try to belong so well. You did good.
I didn't do good at all. I was confused.
Who's your favorite superhero again? Marvel.
Batman.
Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it. Yeah, Batman. Superman too. I think Marvel Snap's looking at me already. They're like, he said Superman. Target on him. I'm definitely. I was. The amount of times OJ was like, "How did that happen? What just happened?" I felt like I was watching my mom play like I don't know, like an FBS game for the first time. She's like, "Why did I just die? What happened here?" Yeah.
What's funny is that after the game starts to mature, people go back to that type of content early. I see this cycle all the time in Clash Royale and Brawl Stars. Once it reaches a certain age, around 4 or 5 years, content like that starts exploding again. And it's happening right now in Brawl Stars where people are seeing, this is my first time playing Brawl Stars. And it's so interesting to see that exact perspective.
Yes, and I love that you say that because, and I think that's, again, the uniqueness that you get from, honestly, people want to feel known, right? At the end of the day, people want to feel known. That's why you watch the content you watch. And when you bring in strangers, it just brings more people for these other viewers to identify with, right? And like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I was when I was playing Brawl Stars. But it also allows us to, they call them evergreen videos. You can just go back and watch them at any time because yes, it might be outdated, update or whatever, but the quality of the actual content, which is just the people interaction, is there.
I want to create a video with my girlfriend playing Brawl Stars for the first time. I think that's going to be really interesting. She's going to be so confused. Just like how I was confused in Dexter. He really wanted me to snap, whatever that means.
I streamed, I did a subathon, and I had my wife play a little bit of Marvel Snap, and it's incredible because she's just like, well, that superhero looks cool. Oh, I know who Iron Man is. I'll throw him out. And I'm like,
wait, don't throw him on just because you like him.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, you know? And so and she's always trying to get into gaming more, cracks me up, right? Because she plays Mario Kart, and that's like her threshold of like, okay, I know how to game. And so the other day she was like, I think she wanted to play Overwatch. She's like, how hard is that game to learn? And I was like, from Mario Kart perspective, yeah, not the easiest.
Oh, well, there's a They both have maps, so you got that.
That's about you press A on both of them. So you asked me who my favorite creator. So that definitely was my favorite video probably this year because I just love thirst for the human interaction there. How about yourself?
There's so many different creators. I like creators outside of my space.
Yeah.
So I can take inspiration from that. I actually try to avoid watching creators from within my realm just because I don't want to subconsciously implant their ideas into my content, and I try to innovate new things.
It sounds bad, and I wish I could consume more, whether it's Marvel Snap content or whatever, because I watch a lot of YouTube, a ton of YouTube.
Oh, I'm the same. Did you watch it before you were a YouTuber?
Yes. So I feel like everybody has their mediums of like what they consume. So yeah, you're a book reader, you do audio, you do podcasts like this one, like Peeling the Orange, but you could also watch TV. You're a movie watcher, Netflix. It's always been YouTube for me because the world's the oyster, right? If I wanted to learn, like for instance, the Samsung phone launched, really wanted to check out the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, I just type it in, go to MKBHD, and there you go, right?
That was the first thing I watched too.
It was the first one, yeah.
I watch a lot of tech videos. I watch cooking videos. There's so many different things. What kind of genres do you like?
Oh, it's what the flavor is of the month, but also like what time of day it is. So I like retrospectives and documentaries at night because they're usually low key, you know, and don't have any like bang sounds come out of nowhere. But mostly it's self-improvement in whatever I'm trying to learn more of. It's my learning vessel, if that makes sense. So
it is.
In 2024, wanted to get more organized, wanted to really make a new studio space to inspire creativity. So that has been my focus lately. Kind of went back to some of these old birds that I used to be watching all the time.
It's crazy how the internet's evolved from that. And you can just search up any video on how to do an oil change on any car in existence. That wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
You know, one thing about our space is it's like, okay, you know, job security, what are you going to do after the game? And I'm like, there's so many things I'd love to do for YouTube, right? Like, I was even thinking, and this maybe is the dad in me coming out, but like, I was building some IKEA. You guys have been here before, building the 500 set IKEA thing that you're like, I'll knock it out in an hour. It takes you 7. You open up the manual. It's like, you've never seen this Egyptian hieroglyphic. What are you looking at? I want to make a YouTube, and it's there, but it's not really there. I want to make a YouTube channel. You feel free to steal this if you're listening. Just like a step-by-step on how to build stuff like that. Because they're selling. People are buying IKEA dressers or whatever it might be. And so I want to make, that's such a dad channel, man, isn't it?
You're going to have so many bookshelves and tables and chairs in your house. And they're gonna be so mismatched for the content.
Yeah, I look at all the Marvel stuff I have, and if you were to put that to IKEA furniture, I just got like 19 bookshelves behind me, right? Can you imagine? Like, I have a storage unit of Marvel stuff, and I'm like, can you imagine a full storage unit of like 7 couches?
You have a storage unit of Marvel stuff?
I mean, it's not like my Marvel storage unit, but it kinda is. Some of the viewers are awesome. I have a PO box. They have those semis.
Oh yeah.
And I got the other day, I got Stormbreaker. If you know what Stormbreaker is, it's Thor's axe on Infinity War. Now, this viewer so kind of sent a life-size replica. Okay, this is.
Is it plastic or is it full metal?
Most of it's metal. There's some plastic pieces.
Oh, wow.
It is about lengthwise is the size of this table that we're sitting at. The size of this table, but up as an axe. Where am I supposed to put? My wife's like, where are we putting this? I'm like, right in the living room. Mounted above the fireplace. How cool would that? No. So I got it for the storage unit. That's where it's got to go for now.
No.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I got my buddy a WWE belt for his bachelor party, and his wife was livid. Where are you going to put this?
Yeah.
And I straight up told her, in the living room.